video. Today we're going to be talking about being virgins in 2024. My man.
Thank you to my man.
Guys, once you pop, you cannot stop. So rather don't pop.
At all.
I am glad that our principals push some men away because they cannot stand who you are as a woman.
No,
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl SMM and I'm back again with another video. Happy 2024 guys. This is actually my first appearance on YouTube this year. And it's March. That's sort of unfair, but it's a topic for another day. Honey, if you're a returning subscriber, hey sweetheart. And if you are a new subscriber, welcome to the Smarties gang. You know that we get to fly high with Smarties, right? Yeah! Guys, as you can see, today I'm having a visitor. A very, very gorgeous gal. And her name is Kamsy. I'll let her introduce herself and then we pick off like how we met and how we became friends and all of that, and then we'll dive into the video, man.
Hi guys, how are you doing, dear Smarties gang? My name is Kamsy, guys. Art Kamsy on the socials. I am a thespian like herself.
Yes, darling.
I am a musician. I'm a writer and I'm a singer. So yeah.
Okay, guys, so my first encounter with Kamsy was in senior school. We both went to St. Joseph's College. Honey, she would have the mic like this. Can you please do what you used to do? Because she was the head girl, guys. She was the head girl at St. Joseph's College, and I was one of the prefects. So we were in the same class. So basically, you know, she had power, child, and I was taking advantage of the power. I don't want to lie. I want Kamsy to do the thing that she used to do every time she had the mic and we had to stand up. You know, there's someone who made like a TikTok model and they were like, Joe, hey, let's what. So, guys, this is our former head girl of St. Joe. So she's gonna do the intro that she used to do.
Do I even remember?
Let's go.
You're so foul for this. I used to be like, good afternoon, St. Joseph's College. May we please rise on our feet and say the grace?
Yes! Because, guys, we wouldn't eat without saying the grace.
Period.
Like, it was a must. We had to pray before we eat.
Yeah.
And we would also say it after we eat, right?
Yeah, and after as well.
Before we left the DX. So, guys, welcome to the video. It's going to be a very fun and engaging video. I'm sipping on some Oros. And I made Kamsy some iced tea. Because she loves ice. No, it's iced coffee actually. So yeah, I made her iced coffee and I'm just sipping on some orange. Video. Today we're going to be talking about being virgins in 2024. Is that even the right title though? What's the right title?
The right title is being celibate in 2024.
No, but there's a difference, Chomi. Celibacy, someone can be celibate, but they've had sex before. We haven't had sex before, so are we celibate?
Yeah, actually.
Hey.
No, because I just remembered that. Secondary
celibacy. Now we are like primary
and
like
exclusively.
Exactly. Like we haven't done anything.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are going through trying times. Like people are just losing themselves.
Find out.
Exactly. People are just losing themselves to people that they shouldn't even be losing themselves to. People are forgetting about God. People are forgetting about what God said to us when it comes to sex. Guys, I think we should just say sex is not a bad thing.
No, it's not. God created it for people to enjoy. So yeah,
exactly.
It's not a bad thing.
And God created sex for people to enjoy it in marriage.
In the construct
of marriage. Like, why did you decide to save yourself for marriage? Was it before you found Christ, or was it prior to you after knowing Christ? Like, what was your journey?
Like I've grown up in church my whole life. So I've grown up in church my whole life, you know, family's going to church every Sunday. You don't have a choice type thing.
Yeah.
But finding Christ is a very personal journey. And I know so many people by long like have come across God from outside church.
Yeah.
Because you can literally go to church your entire life and still go to hell.
Exactly.
It absolutely, you're not safe just because you've gone or fellowshipped your whole life or because you're serving or anything. It's a personal journey between you and God.
Yeah.
So I found Christ when I was like probably in my late teens. So maybe 16 and above. So yeah, late teens, I started to understand God and experience him fully for me.
Yeah.
For some of the things he saved me from when I was in high school, or things therefore after that I was like, damn, I could have died. I could have easily gone this way, but God saved me. So it's a very personal experience where God is like, I got your back. And so when I was younger, it was more so a thing of vulnerability. Like I was always very shelled, very like, you know,
you were just always in your own shell.
in my own shell. So I would see what's going on around, and I felt
sorry to cut you. So like you said in your point, being in church does not necessarily mean that you were saved, right?
Yeah.
So with you were in church, and outside you were just also a very reserved person.
Yeah.
So taking the church aspect and putting it away, let's say maybe you were not really understanding what you were doing in church by that time, but like just taking the fact that you were a reserved person, would you say that on its own saved you from actually exploring intimacy on that level?
Yeah, definitely. I've been a goody two shoes my whole life. And there's no like I've been a good girl my whole life. Okay, good girls are up. That's somebody very say. No. I've always been a good girl. I've always loved to play by the rules.
Yeah.
So inevitably, I always say to people that even if I wasn't saved, I still would have been that Motswana girl who feeling you know, I would have been like that anyway. But I think that I started to understand it in a different regard when I put Christ in the picture.
Exactly.
It comes together full circle, because there are people who ask, okay, put Christianity aside.
What's your story?
Why do you do this? Or what? And I'm just kind of like,
exactly, of late.
I don't think it's a.
Oh my gosh, that's a very deep video playing on the TV, like, but it's a music video. Okay, guys, don't mind that. It's just like random music playing on YouTube. So focus on us.
I said to a friend a couple weeks ago, and she was like, "Oh, Kamsy, still, if we get a friend, if it didn't happen 5 years ago, it won't happen now.
It won't happen now because look at the city, look at how dirty it is. Like, child, we need the rain before it gets anywhere."
No, because at this particular point, sex is so accessible, right? It's so accessible. There's absolutely nothing to keep anymore. There's nothing special about a marriage anymore, because you're getting every single thing without the ring.
And I feel like to a certain extent, it's like people are ruining what God had created.
Yeah.
Because God said, do not have sex before marriage. And I think when it comes to my story, because you just gave like a bit of yours, for me, I've always been that type of a girl of no sex before marriage. Like, I started going to church, I think when I was like 13. And that was back in Mulepule when I was still like a kid, and we'd just go to church because we were going to church. And then I finally started going to a different church when I was 16, and that's when I can say that I fully found Christ, because I now started understanding the aspect of, you know, who God was and stuff like that. And I think I need to be honest with you guys. Not that Kamsy, I long started. I don't want to. Exactly. I started having boyfriends when I was very young.
They think you've never dated or anything.
No.
13 years old.
Even when I knew a better, I was at 13. Because I remember the time when I was doing Form 1, I had been in a long-term relationship with some guy, and it was
primary school.
From primary school. And his parents knew me. Mind you, this was when I was doing Standard 7 and into Form 1.
Real.
His mom knew me.
That's some commitment, girl.
Both of his parents knew me. My mom knew him. It was just like, for me, but I always had that thing at the back of my head that I don't want to have sex before marriage. It has just always been a thing.
Until this guy marries me. Exactly. Because when I was 13, I was in a relationship for 2 years.
Wow,
my first boyfriend, we lasted 2 years.
That was also like my first like long-term relationship that I went into. So like after 16, when I finally got to another church and I now found God for myself, and I finally understood who God was, how he works, I was like, I'm actually going to hold on to this promise, because I had the I had the conviction to do that by myself without God in the picture.
Yeah.
Once you find God, it becomes a thing of, it seals everything, you know. And even up to now, I'm still holding on to that promise. Like, I am not going to have sex up until I get married. And people ask, if you don't get married, then what's gonna be the child?
I'm gonna die alone, baby.
Child,
that's
you're
what's
gonna
gonna
die alone,
baby.
Child,
that's
you're
what's
gonna
gonna
die alone,
baby.
Child,
that's
you're
what's
gonna
gonna
die alone.
You're gonna die alone.
The truth of the matter is, we serve a very faithful God, so He won't allow the faithful to die without being honored. I think the right word is honored. Yes, because we are honoring God with our bodies, and in return He's going to honor us by providing people who are going to be our husbands, like perfect partners who are meant to be in our lives. And I'll be 24 this year, child. I'm still holding on strong.
Period.
I think I decided to make this video because I feel like a lot of people are losing themselves, and it's just like, why? Like, we have 13-year-olds right now, guys, who are pregnant, and you would find they're just so free about it. Like, someone is busy scrolling, putting up a video on TikTok, and they're like, hey guys, so like, I'm 28 weeks pregnant and I live with my boyfriend and we just bought our own apartment. Like, guys, it's getting out of hand, and I think it's getting scarier for me as a Botswana child, looking at the fact that it's getting to that level also in Botswana. It's like people just don't care.
No, they don't. There's already another pandemic on the table.
Exactly. And it's not making sense.
And then there's irresponsibility, and then there's deadbeat parents, because Mobotswana, we can't just say it's fathers, it's also mothers who don't want to take responsibility of their children. So if we're already in a society where people hate each other this much,
exactly, you know, honestly, it just doesn't make sense, guys. And also, when you look at it, because there was times where an article of Sunday Standard and 4.3 new cases, 4.3 new infections. And
last year?
Yes, last year. And I remember there was a time when I came across that post and it was like 2 weeks, like a 2-week difference. And I'm like, this is insane. People are just too deep, child.
No, that whole joke, ARVs are like flu tablets.
People
took that too seriously.
Yeah, they did. And it's just like, they don't care. They're going to do whatever it is that they want to do, because people justify themselves. This is my body. I'm going to do whatever I want with my body.
The irresponsibility is not motivating, to say the least.
Exactly.
In this country not even in this country alone. I think that most of Southern Africa has taken in a lot of Western cultures.
We have.
I know that because people shame us for like, choosing celibacy, or even just like, you haven't tried,
not even a little bit.
Like, no. You know, there's certain things you don't have to experience just because you want to be like everybody else. Also, I'll always say this. I have so many friends who are sexually active. None of them have ever encouraged me. I'm not one. All the women I have in my life who have been sexually active or are celibate or are still have never ever at any point said, but you should try this. Never.
Because
never.
You're reminding me of like my big sisters that I actually work with. Like, I'm a dancer, so I have big sisters that I work with. And there's this other specific sister of mine, and she's always like, I wish I hadn't took my virginity then. I wish I had stayed. I wish like I had kept myself. I'm so glad that you're doing this. And I think I'm grateful for such people, because if you come at me and you're like, you should try it, I'm gonna slap you in the face. Like, I don't
try
wanna
what? At this point?
Child, like, why are you encouraging me and trying to push me out of my own way to do something that you feel like is right? It's not right for me. If it's right for you, then I don't have control over your life. So continue with whatever it is that you want to do.
No, real. You know? Me in a relationship, because you know they always have guys will always have like 1,000 of reasons.
Guys.
What? Realistically speaking, I can say the people who I know who are satisfied with their choices, who aren't celibate, is all my friends in their 30s.
Yeah.
And these are very much adults. They're grown-ups. They've established life. Of course, they are fully conscious and aware of what they're doing.
Yeah.
Everyone who's my friend who's in their 30s, either newly married, either just had a baby or whatever, they're just like calm, and I've never received any pressure from them.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of the fact that they're my older friends, they're just like chill about it. But it's always these ones who always trying to get you.
The ones who are these young ones, like
getting you the wrong way.
Guys,
no, real. I cannot tell you. Guys,
not only in our DMs, but also even with the choices that we make for ourselves as individuals. Like, if I choose I'm gonna be celibate, and then you come and you are trying to judge me and trying to convince me to do things that I don't want to do. Like, child, what is your problem?
In the awkward positions.
Yes.
Like in very awkward positions. Like, there's things that I'm just like, for crying out loud, that should not have been that awkward.
You know?
But
because like some people are just some people, we find ourselves in awkward situations and conversations that we shouldn't even be having with those people to begin with in the first place. There's la romance.
I think that
yeah, that's so many celibate people.
Yeah. Pretender for the sake of
trying to
fit with you guys.
You know? Not pretend so that they don't feel left out.
Yeah.
Hey yo, bro, like, bro,
yeah.
you know.
And I get you guys. I don't mean you, the innocent viewer.
Yeah, because there's the innocent viewer. That's the
That's
fact.
okay.
There's the innocent
viewer.
The
Who pressure everybody else.
Guys, stop pressuring other people. Celibacy is a choice, so please. Exactly. That's a lot of money. So tell me something. How has it been for you in the dating pool?
The dating pool has algae. It's green.
It's dirty.
No, it's green.
Not
It's
cute.
got algae. It's got leaves. There's a little mosses creating around the corners.
There's a dirty diaper right there.
Something. Oh.
A little bit of mosquitoes. There's a spider web, child. It's not cute.
If I'm being full transparency, the last partner I had was in 2019.
Child, that was a long time
ago.
ago.
I last actually had a partner, intentional partner, to say, okay, this is my man. 4 years ago.
Guys, my man.
Thank you to my man.
How say relationship my child, just lay back, trust God's timing.
Because also I get this question a lot as well, is so what has been happening between these years and why so long? Is because my last partner had set such a precedent, like standard for how I'm supposed to be treated. He loved me the kingdom way. You understand what I'm saying? Man's like, hey, I'm coming to get you. We're going to church today. You want to come to my church today? You know, we're going to pray together. Just respect your boundaries. And he was a little older than me. I think he was older than me by maybe 5 years. But he was never like, good, we both with the more thing while waiting together rather than I'm waiting for you.
Exactly.
That's what it was. And I feel like because he set that standard, that Jesus standard of a man,
child, you can settle for less.
You know, because he was really representing God well. The God he believed in, he was representing well. I never doubted for any second that he loved me.
But then why did you guys break up?
We broke up for a whole bunch of other things, because sometimes compatibility along the way works smooth. Yeah, we didn't die down because of infidelity, but we did die down because of other more serious things in relationships that people go through. We don't hate each other. We don't talk as much either. I know people who have this thing of talking
with our exes.
No, we don't do that. We don't do that here. But he knows, okay, he was somebody who had really set the standard for me. And I was always like, I was never willing to lower that standard.
Which is actually very good because like you're saying, he really represented God well. And I think also what made everything firm on your side was the fact that you knew God for yourself. So if that's the case, it's like he knows God, you know God, there's a balance. And like you're saying, you guys broke up because of the fact that he had like you guys had other things going on, and they wouldn't have been like solved otherwise. And the only reason and the only way or really was for you guys to part ways. But for me on my side, it was just an issue of like, okay, number one, I've always made it clear each and every time I get into a relationship that I'm not gonna have sex with a person. Every single time. Because I don't want it to get to a point where it's like you are questioning me. But if I've made it clear from the onset, you know, and you are not trying to like give me a reason to do something with you or whatever, you know. So with me, my last relationship, honestly, it broke off because of the fact that like same reason as yours, honestly. Compatibility along the way just started sinking, and it was not.
And you started to see the cracks, because you know infatuation is such a thing.
Yeah.
I remember thinking to myself, reach a year with this man. Thinking to myself, I cannot let it reach a year when we have such and such and such a crack.
Exactly.
Already. This is only gonna amplify.
And thing with me is one of the main reasons that broke off the relationship was one of the things that I had always talked to him about
from the beginning.
And the thing is, we were friends before we dated, right? So like I've always talked about these things during the friendship phase, because I was just always worried about him as my friend. Or, hey, yo, bro, like cut down on this, cut down on this, cut down on that. And then when we finally dated, honestly, it was like, okay, when I look back at it now, it was like, bro, you should have remained friends. Like, you should have remained friends, you know? And when we dated, we did date, I think, for like close to 6 months, if I'm not mistaken. And then, like,
it started to crack.
It just started to crack. It just started to crack. And then, but like, we're cool. We don't have beef or anything. Like, we talk when we need to talk to. Like, we're cool. Honestly, I never really like having tension with the people that I was in love with. So, like it's no hard feelings type of vibe, but like it's like, bro, we talked about this. Now look at this. It's the very same reason that's breaking off things. And child, it just had to go.
We need a lot of men who look at us and they're like, oh, you look like a pretty little thing that can be my trophy. You know, they look at you and they're like, we say,
it's like,
and I had a man a couple of weeks ago tell me that, you know, he was so happy that I arrived, and I could like see that for him it's purely a pride thing to be associated with me. And I was like,
we're in the entertainment space, if you look at it. So to a certain extent, some people don't really want you for who you are. They just want you because of what you have and what you've become for yourself as an individual. Because guys, we work hard. Everyone works hard to get where they are. And I'm pretty sure you probably know someone just because of who they are, that status, or that money or whatever. And child, we can't be dealing with that.
For me, also it's a bit of a turn off, because I know how fanboys never get me anywhere.
Exactly.
Exactly. I'm like your biggest fan.
Child.
Now you're trying to be my man. You saw me on stage. Now you're trying to be my man, trying to get the free. And I did once make that mistake with someone I was dating, because then you know when you're dating versus when you're actually in a relationship. People
actually don't also know the difference between dating and being in a relationship. Chill out.
Real. And I think that the few date sessions that the dating that we're in, and I was like, when. Because it was like maybe his second or third show. I got courtesy of being my plus one.
That's where the danger is. But association can happen. Let me tell you something. You can associate yourself with a person because of who they are. And then when you get to know them, and then you get to like them, and then they get to let you know of their standards and their like principles and all of that. People move away. Like, guys, I'm so glad our principles push you away, hey? Like, I'm so glad, because they actually show that you're the right people for us. So, I am glad that our principles push some men away, because they cannot stand who you are as a woman.
No, they don't like you when you're disciplined. I learned that the very hard way. That they don't like it when you stand your ground. They don't like it when you're confident. And they don't like it when you're not confused. Like, if you've ever schooled with me in high school, you know I'm a very disciplined girly. Like, you know, definitely. I take my discipline, my self-control as like, I wear it on my sleeves. So if it means, and it's not to say that we haven't had temptation before.
No, guys, we have.
Sometimes you fall short of the glory. And you make out with someone you shouldn't.
Once you've learned your lesson, you actually avoid being in situations that have you almost doing whatever it is, like the case or whatever. Like, in my age now, I've never been with a guy who's older than me. Like, every time I've dated or I've been in a relationship, she said, that's the most I've been with a guy. I think also me being a virgin from a very young age and telling myself that I want to have sex only when I'm married has always made me have this thing, girl, date boys who are your age. Can't the boys who are even my age want the sex? And I'm like, child, no.
You know what? I think that courtesy of just me, unfortunately, when you tend to be this person, everyone from every age category likes you like that. So I've been able to attract everyone from all ages, and I mean all ages.
I mean, I have also. I have, but like, like just stay in your lane, please. Really 2,000.
Yeah, no, real. I think I'm too kind sometimes, because sometimes they take your kindness for flirting.
Exactly. There's this thing like where you've been with a guy, and then you guys break off, and then he tries to come back at a later time because he realizes the gem that you are, and like you know. You know, I shouldn't have let you go. You're a diamond in the sky. You're shining so bright. Hey. Like, why are you trying to be like that?
What are you doing?
Those guys break things off because you are not giving into the sex. And after they go out, they get whatever it is that they want outside. They want to come back in your space, contaminate your space, drain your energy. Like, my brother, just stay away, please.
There's a verse that says something about the fool that like the dog that goes back to eat
its puke. Exactly. Like, you cannot go back to eat your puke. Like, even the Lord has talked about a child.
So me accepting you will be accepting my puke back
again.
And I won't do that.
Please, puke. Stay away. I just called those people. Like, please, just stay away. Like,
no, I think it's also disrespectful. So people strip us to our worth. So you don't deserve flowers, you don't deserve dates, you don't deserve any
chocolates
of this stuff
or whatever. Exactly. Like, that's the standard. That's the norm of people who are actually in celibate relationships. Because once you find yourself in that space, you actually need to find things that make your relationship exciting, but things that are non-affiliated with things that intimacy and all of that. Like, even when you guys are like, the most that you can do is just that's the most that you can do with your partner once you are in a celibate relationship.
The Bible also says things like, don't lead each other into temptation.
Exactly.
And I feel like a lot of Christians misinterpret that. Like, if your kiss is genuinely like, it's wholesome, okay, pure, PG. It's not awakening.
It's not awakening any other hormones or whatever.
Then that's fine. You can do the whole thing. Hold hands, go on dates, have conversations, fellowship together,
and all of that.
Yeah, you can do the whole thing, which is why, and I might be cold-hearted for saying this, but I don't understand if you've already done everything that is being done in a marriage and you're still lacking in a relationship. You're still suffering.
How? Because you are actually like, how?
If you've given up your body, your soul to this person.
In a relationship, mind you, you are not in a marriage as of yet. But like, the reason why people actually go through trials and tribulations in relationships, it's because they are doing or they're allowing themselves to enjoy husband and wife privileges while they're boyfriend and girlfriend. That is why your relationship is going down the drain. Let me tell you something. You cannot be enjoying wife or husband privileges as a girlfriend or as a boyfriend. Like, it can't happen. It doesn't work like that. I can't give you my body. You can't give me your body if you're not my husband, if I'm not your wife. That cannot happen. That's a husband privilege.
No, real. That's why it's also very messy in gaps. However, the scene of everything. They have control over their partners, like their possessions. Because they have something of you that is valuable. And that is the highest form of intimacy. To me, that's
actually the highest form of intimacy. Like,
it's like,
because like there's a build-up. Once you're in a relationship, you build up, and then once you get
mentally,
in every way,
emotionally,
and then once it gets to the marriage, it's like the highest peak of everything. God solidifies everything with your marriage,
and the two shall become one for a reason. The reason why your breakups are very painful is the reason why nobody tells you that your breakups are hell to go through, because soul tie, and the two shall become one.
It's also because of the fact that I come with 40,000 soul tiles. Soul
Yeah.
tiles from a person who had intimacy with another person, with another person, with another. And then when we come together, a web that is so difficult and hard to break. That is why the breakups make you guys go through the most.
Guys, if you're sexually active and you're always wondering where some of these bouts of sadness are coming from,
it's because of
that guy from 2018. Because if you are just living in the world, and which is okay, we're not bashing you for it. Everyone gets to experience Christ at their own times. It's a journey. But you do understand or there's certain things that are not of you. Before you met that person, you were happy, you were carefree, was not depressed, suicidal every now and then, a bitter, angry person, and you're like, where is this coming from?
It's coming from that child. So
another pandemic is the Christian couples that are together,
my sister,
that are sexually active.
That's a very serious pandemic, guys. Like, how do you find yourself in the house of Christ? And yesterday, no busy when I because like what does the
even
say?
Yesterday is better, because if yesterday you guys repented to God and said, okay, sharp, we're not doing this again, we both
I think also the problem comes
but after church tomorrow is the problem.
I think also the problem when a Kamsy becomes the fact that like, how do you even get to go to your boyfriend's house and find yourself in that bed? Like, make it make sense. Like, even as a Christian, like, how do you do that? But we all fall short of the glory, but like, that's where the strength comes from.
Yeah.
So you need to hold on.
Yeah, scripture keep bumping to crucify the flesh.
I don't know the scripture, Chomi, but amen. Like, guys, please, don't allow yourself to be in positions that will make you. I posted a status one other time, and I'm like, have people who will hold you accountable. Accountability, and also like have people who will hold you accountable for your own sin. You know, like if you have a boyfriend and a girlfriend, and like if you're boyfriend and girlfriend and you are having intimacy together, like you're having sex together, your boyfriend needs to hold you accountable. My sister, so let's part ways. Individually, you know?
I also think that people love the whole, but right now we can't get married thing.
That's not an excuse.
No, it's not. How much is it to get married?
45 pula.
45 pula.
Yeah.
Because you need to either decide. So decide. If you're gonna say something like, oh no, you know, I'm pretty sure your parents would understand if you're saying.
But also go through the right route.
The right route, yeah.
Get counseling before marriage. Yeah. Know that if that person, don't rush to get married just because you are so enticed about the sex.
That's also what I'm. That's definitely not what I'm saying.
Because some people, the door is opening, but like some people just rush to their marriage because they are so excited to have the sex. Like, bro, chill out.
No, after 2 consecutive years, because now you've gotten your cake, eaten it too, and you're like, I'm tired of this. Can you love people for them? Exactly. Like, let's be real right now. One of my biggest reasons for absolutely not wanting to give my body away, anybody who's ever gone on a date with me will tell, and there've been multiple days between these 4 years that they'll tell you, my body's not on the table for discussion. Started from point get blank period. Can you love me for me? Like, what am I as a human being? Why am I important to you after the hour 10 p.m?
Exactly.
Like, I need you to guys to deep this thing. Like, there's so much time within a day, daylight, for you to decide to know your person spiritually, mentally, emotionally, everywhere. Connect, and there's so many layers to this person. What is it that is so what is it that is so intensely hard about forgetting to feed your flesh for a minute so you can know this person?
Exactly. It's not worth it.
Yeah, honestly. It's not.
It's not worth feeding your flesh for 2 minutes and
then regretting it.
The thing is, people have this thing of, I don't know you if I haven't had sex with you. Like, child.
No, you don't know my body. if you haven't had sex with me.
Exactly.
You don't know my body. You don't know my nipples. You don't know my bum.
You don't know anything.
You don't know anything.
And you shouldn't know anything.
You shouldn't.
Till you marry me.
No, period.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Even you are lucky if you go to learn Pakungi like a bikini. You're lucky.
Because that's the most.
No, that's the most.
Yeah.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
Huh?
And actually, it's getting to a point where a lot of Christian girlies don't even swim in bikinis anymore. Like, they're actually really covering up their bodies because we don't even want to tempt anyone because the Bible says do not drive anyone into temptation. Like,
no, real.
Girls are really out there trying to protect
themselves. That's not my problem. Close your eyes. The Bible said flee. Don't make it my problem. No, I hear that one though.
Guys, we're gonna end this video here. It was so much fun making this video. I think just give them your last word. Like that little girl who's like 13 years old and they're probably gonna come across this video, I don't know when, or whoever really, like whoever is on that journey, like just give out a word to them, girl.
Guys, you know what? Thank you so much for coming to this point of the video.
Yeah,
we reached here.
The
Lord knows why you're here.
Yeah.
I just want to say to you something that my friends always say to me as well. I'm missing out on nothing. And I just want to leave you with that, is that your mind might wander, your thoughts might wander, but you are actually missing out on
absolutely
nothing.
Yeah.
The only thing you might be missing out on is a potential to be entangled in a web of a sin that might keep bringing you down further.
And down, yeah.
Because, you know, the sin of the flesh is tangible. It sort of has an actual hold on you. Every sin is equal, but there's a reason why, you know, sexual immorality is because it's such a tangible sin. It's harder to let go. You can learn to not lie. You can learn to not lie. You can learn to be patient, like in the fruit of the spirit. You can learn to be patient,
you can learn to be gentle, to be kind, to love.
Some of these things you can, and bad habits you can unlearn. Conveying your neighbor's belongings, you can learn to not be jealous. You can learn to not be envious. But it's so much harder when you've crossed the red line of, you know, celibacy.
Yeah, and then you try to bring yourself back down.
It becomes so much harder. So just don't allow yourself to give in. So just know that you are not missing out on anything, okay? The girlies who love Christ and are celibate are still those girls, okay? They're still getting that
You're still
princess
the girl.
Vacation. Listen, I have a friend, she's 35. She said her husband, before they were married, they used to go on vacations all the time. He would book 2 separate rooms.
Yeah. That's a man right there.
Yeah. He said, I'm gonna keep you pure for our marriage. And they would book 2 separate rooms far across the hallway from each other.
Yeah.
But they still spend time together. So you are actually not missing out on anything.
Yeah.
Just know your worth, girl.
Guys, Kamsy wrapped it up so beautifully. And like she said, guys, once you pop, you cannot stop. So rather don't pop
At all.
rather don't pop, child.
Or if you have, someone will delete the number.
Hey, if you popped, continue seeking the Lord. Continue seeking the Lord, and the Lord will keep. Guys, we've been talking for a minute. My phone just like got full and it abandoned me. So like, guys, thank you so much for tuning onto this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you loved it. I hope that it was encouraging and informative to you. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. I will see you guys on my next video. Bye.